Salim told us,
"We are not blind followers of any government or any clerics. We do criticise other religions just as other religions criticise Islam. However, this does not mean that we show intolerance, aggression or violence to people of different faiths. And we have often emphasised that the Muslim's attitude towards his or her non-Muslim counterpart is one of fairness, compassion and tolerance. We encourage integration into society."
She said the comments that Muslims could not take British citizenship were erroneous and apologised for them. She said,
"Whilst it is recommended for a Muslim to migrate to a Muslim country, it is not obligatory."
In last year's dispatches, we found the mosque's official bookshop was selling a number of speeches by preachers promoting hatred and intolerance.
Ya Latif. The worst word that can ever be written.
Dr. Al-Dubayan told us the bookshop was independently run by a company called Dar al Salam International Publications, a British company with links to Saudi Arabia. But he said he was seriously concerned and said that the DVDs had been removed immediately, pending an investigation. And he called on all British Muslim organisations to be vigilant about the message being spread on their premises, either during talks or on recorded DVDs. So our reporter went back to the bookshop and went to the same shelves to see if he had been as good as his word. But despite his promises, she found they're still selling the speeches of exactly the same preachers we identified last year. They're still selling DVDs of Murtaza Khan, a British school teacher and preacher. In this one, he attacks the Western idea that women can be independent from men.
The mental capacity of this society teaches you, I'm a woman in my own right. I can get my own job. I can get my own funding. I can get my own welfare. I can get my own flat. I can get my own home. I can get my own state benefit. I don't need you in my life. What is that? Deception of the devil.
And says men should control them.
Man is stronger than women, but men today don't know how to take care of their families. That's why their women walk loose. Their women speak loose. And that's their evil society, that Muslim society has become like that today.
And they're still selling DVDs of Sheikh Faiz, who was trained to preach in a Saudi religious university, condemning disbelievers.
The kafar are kafar. Who cares what they do? They do the most evil, filthy things. The disbelievers, the evil, wicked, mischievous people. Black, you can see the evil in that face. Do not mix with people who do not prostrate to the oneness of Allah Ta'ala, who do not prostrate to the Almighty Lord. Keep far away from people like that.
Last year we found DVDs of him calling Jews pigs who would be killed at the end of the world. In this new one from the bookshop, he is still condemning Jewish beliefs and Jews themselves.
The leader of pride or arrogance are no other than the Jews. Wallahi, they got the most extreme racial pride in them. An abominated, filthy, disgusting, gross belief. Their time will come, like every other evil person's time will come.
And they're selling more speeches by Sheikh Khalid Yassin, who learned Arabic in Saudi Arabia. In some of the DVDs we found, he says Muslims could have a constructive relationship with non-Muslims. But in this DVD, he praises the Sharia law practiced in Saudi Arabia, saying he's witnessed public beheadings there.
When you enter Saudi Arabia, everybody knows how everything goes. They're the only ones that have the power and who have the audacity and who have the principle to continue punishing the people as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say punish them. At least I say we Muslims should have that kind of power all over the world. And that people can see people without hands. People can see in the public heads rolling down the street. People got their hands and feet from opposite sides chopped off and they see them crucified. They see people get punished. They see people get put up against a pole and see them get lashed in the public. They see it. And because they see that, that acts as a deterrent for them because they think about that. They say, oh, I don't want that to happen to me.
Sheikh Yassin told us his comments should be considered in context. He said he did not support or promote Saudi Arabian government policy or religious rhetoric, and said capital punishments are carried out by many states and governments. He said,
"That lecture was aimed at reforming the Muslim people, the Muslim society and the Muslim world, to be adjudicated by the sovereign Islamic State, when one exists."
Dar es Salaam International Publications told us the bookshop sells a wide range of material which they do not necessarily agree with. They said,
"We try to represent a variety of opinions through the products we sell, in order to spread peace, respect, tolerance and understanding."
We were unable to contact Murtaza Khan. However, last year he told dispatches,
"My discourses have never been delivered with the intent to malign any individual group or race. They are delivered to inspire Muslims to better themselves and then to play a positive role for their own and wider community in Britain."
Dr. Al-Dubayan reiterated that the bookshop was run by an independent company. He said,
"Despite having no control over the bookshop, we met with those running the bookshop after your programme was broadcast. We made it clear that it was not acceptable for the bookshop to stock materials containing extremist views, as we consider these materials to be offensive and contrary to the aims of the ICC. We were assured all offending material had been removed and systems put in place to prevent this reoccurring."
Dr. Ghayasuddin Siddiqui founded the Muslim Parliament in Britain and is director of the Muslim Institute, Britain's oldest Islamic think tank. He says the mosque's bookshop has previously been caught selling radical books as well as DVDs.
Whenever such books are found, the only explanation from the administration has been that it's not part of us. But, you have no compulsion to having that bookshop, close it down. But this story goes on and on. They continue to sell books which are promoting basically Saudi Wahhabi ideology. As long as the Islamic Culture Center in Regent's Park remains in the hands of Saudis, there will never be a unity among Muslims in Britain.
Next, we investigate claims that the Saudi Arabian state is involved in spreading a message of intolerance and segregation. A Dispatches reporter is filming undercover inside Regent's Park Mosque. It's the most important mosque in the country, and one which claims to be dedicated to promoting moderation and integration. But she found its official bookshop selling speeches attacking non-Muslims.
Disbelievers, the evil, wicked, mischievous people.
And preachers teaching British Muslims to separate from non-Muslims and their society, and to believe in Islamic states with extreme Sharia law.
The one who changes his deen, what we're going to do? Keep.
Now our reporter was to witness Saudi religious rulings being given to women in Britain. After a month with the Women's Circle, she finds they're using the mosque to select some of the worshippers and invite them to private sessions. She's asked along.
On Friday. Would you be able to come?
Yes, inshallah.
Let me write for you my address, inshallah.
She heads for the meeting. It's taking place in a private house in North London. In the mosque, the circle gives general religious instructions to a few hundred women. But here, they're told by a senior member of the circle that they can get individual religious rulings from the Regent's Park Mosque preacher, Salim, which will directly affect their own lives.
So Salim, who is our teacher at the masjid, she basically is coming to give a halakha about, various topics, anything you want to ask, anything you want to know.
Salim answers their questions with strict rulings on women's personal freedom. She says they can't travel far without a mahram, a male member of the family to escort them.
Whoever believes in Allah should not travel without a mahram.
This alarms one woman in the audience.
Sister, me and my husband, we can't go together. So what do I do if I want to go?
Yeah.
She's told she can't travel by herself.
So what do I do?
You go with your husband.
The British government says empowering Muslim women is a key part of its strategy against extremism. This year, Gordon Brown launched an advisory group of Muslim women to encourage integration into British society and greater participation in the workplace.
The important thing for our country going forward is that every single citizen feels that they have a part to play.
The aim is to help tackle radicalism, according to Saudi academic Dr. May Yamani.
The current British government's policy is about empowering women to be part of the community where they live and participate and get jobs. This policy is certainly very important to keep real moderation in the community.
Regent's Park Mosque says it aims to help Muslims integrate into society. But in the private sessions, Salim criticises Muslim women who do so.
Sakifas are going to see Muslims in every sphere of the everyday life in this country. I see Muslims, it breaks my heart when I see them working in banks, short sleeves, sometimes this tight, scarf like this, makeup, being with the kufa all the time, even speaking with the language.
She learns that this woman has a job in the health service.
No, is the job okay? The job that you are doing, does it involve anything haram or is
no?
No,
I work in pathology, hematology, just blood tests.
Just blood tests?
Yes.
And they don't allow you to wear jilbab?
Salim finds out that the woman can't wear a jilbab, a full Saudi-style Islamic covering, while at work. And she's working alongside men, which is forbidden by Saudi scholars.
Do you work only with females? No.
Salim says this is not acceptable.
You know that working in an environment that is not Islamic, working with the kuffar, all this takes you away from the deen and hardens your heart. And it will be lying to you if I say it's okay.
We asked Dr. Yamani what she thought of this kind of Saudi teaching being spread to British Muslims.
My reaction to this, restricting women a job in a hospital, performing their job and working with patients at a hospital because of type of gown they're wearing, or restricting the movement of a woman in the street, in London, or anywhere in Britain, my reaction is, this is not Islamic. They're not even justified by the basic Islamic texts.
Salim denied to us the meetings were clandestine. She said the rulings that women could not travel alone and could not work if it conflicted with religious requirements were totally justified by Islamic texts. She said,
"You may regard these juristic and textual rulings as extreme restrictions, but we see them as our way of life and a liberation of the soul."